the clause chigi doing liya tik tik gabata clause the dependent chagar. Dependent the subordinate lantanda chikar. All right. Okay, subordinating sidu kone clause shamba teni ko yungor ma to konara independent medu ko mebuchili ko subordinate. All right, it is a part of another sentence. In other words, it is not independent. It is dependency. Subordinating or dependent. Okay, so when you put these words, they make the whole clause dependent. All right, and which means that you have to join it with an independent clause. Okay, and then you will get a complete sentence. So it becomes like a conjunction also. The conjunction to which
and said
because penetration because my gemna kuni ni koran kaptan sentence re redwa if my gemna korani sentence logalo ni batel sita pattern da korani kaptan sentence chitugre ta kuni join chitu konye if the gemna kuni ni chik chagya so it's joining them kuni ni combine chigdwa. All right, but in a contest combine chigi or situ kone clause chick dependent separate. So if the karchever to join the chevre, sentence need the sentence chick chevre, ye clause tangbo the dependent server. In other words, it made the first clause, this clause over here, a subordinate clause or a dependent clause. Another word for dependent clause is a subordinate clause. So that thing and clause chickpere. Some dependent secret, some subordinate secret. Just like if gavata subordinate chapter. If my the flight is on time, you get an independent clause. Raya. Okay? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I hope you're listening. Okay. All right. So
yes.
The moment you put if there, if the sentence if lamsan karchaso, these subordinate.
Subordinate.
Dependent. Okay, so that is why you call them subordinating conjunctions. These words
dependent clause.
All right, they are dependent. Many dependent clauses use them. All right, they join a subordinate clause to a main clause and establish a relationship between the two. So there is an independent clause and there is a dependent clause. All right. This is the word that makes it dependent, and when you put this, it joins this with the main clause. In other words, with the independent clause. All right. So,
yes.
So some useful words or conjunctions or subordinating conjunctions that you can use to join sentences. Sentence simple chada tima devche some tinde pejotani complex chivre sentence manda chita mandash toyungure. Okay. All right. So examples of subordinating conjunctions. All right. This is what is after Gamna Lamsan subordinate children. Although Gamna Lamsan clause the subordinate children. As soon as long as though, because, before, how, if. The moment you put this in front of a clause, it becomes a dependent clause.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Try cheddar. Can you make a sentence with before? A clause, a dependent clause with before.
Before I go to class.
Yes. Dependent clause chaswa. Before I go to class, chico shana sentence complete mare. So before I go to class, I will what? What will you do?
Dependent clause.
All right. And the main clause my so before gilam sankora dependent clause before I go to class. The chico shana complete remindwa dependent seswa, which means that you have to put another a main clause there to make it complete. All right. So how will you complete this? Before I go to class,
I must ready to take the book.
I must get my books ready. All right. Before I go to class, I must get my books ready. Okay. Now complete. You see? Okay. How about when? When is it? Lamsan dependent children clause.
When I was in Tibet.
Very good. When I was in Tibet, sentence incomplete. It's a dependent clause. Now you have to add a main clause to make it. How will you do that? When I was in Tibet, carry on now, carry on. When I
went to graze the cow and yaks.
I went to graze the cows and yaks. All right. So when I was in Tibet, I went to graze the cows and yaks. This one, complete sentence now. Okay. So now you can use if in that. If pejotan dependent complex sentence if pejotan.
If Tibet will be free.
If Tibet becomes free or will be free, then
His Holiness will back to his Potala Palace.
Will return to the Potala Palace. Yes. If Tibet becomes free, His Holiness will return to the Potala Palace. Very good. That's a complex sentence. All right. Okay. Because in that, what the because can you make a sentence with a complex sentence with because? Because the moment you use this, it becomes a complex sentence. Because because sentence
Okay. Is there anybody? If no, I will try.
Yeah, please try. Go ahead.
Because of this critical time, we must know, we must wear, or we must make a social distance.
We must keep social distancing. All right. Okay. Because of this critical COVID-19 time, we must keep social distance. All right. Good. Very good. Okay. Oh, this. But go to Swadi. Shabat Sangmare. Complex sentence. Do you understand? Okay. All right. Now let's look at some examples. Subordinating conjunctions. Okay. Now, although even though we show an opposite result. All right. Independent clause, the dependent clause opposite. Although, even though, showing opposite or unexpected results. Okay. Look at this. Clause ni paralia opposite reaction, opposite result here. Although I felt he was wrong, I decided to trust him. They are both opposites, all right? Idea in the opposite. Although I felt he was wrong, I decided to trust him. Do you see? See, the ideas are opposite. Remember? Not what the opposite wrong. Okay. So although I felt he was wrong, I decided to trust him. So they're moving, the ideas are moving in opposite directions. All right. The results are not expected. They are unexpected results. Although it was raining, I played football. Like rain to the football thing football. They're actually opposites. It shows an unexpected result. So this is how you use although. It is a complex sentence. Although. All right. Although I studied hard, I failed. Opposite. If you study hard, you don't fail. Study hard, fail. So completely opposite result. Result opposite. So although I studied hard, I failed. See? So when you want to show opposite results, you use although. Even though, okay? Sonam started looking for a new job, even though he was employed. See, I'm using even though. The dependent clause, the clause nibble pejotanswa.
Started looking for a new job.
Sonam started looking for a new job, even though he was employed. Opposite marbe dingi. Tanda opposite marwe.
Opposite.
Opposite thing. Yaga yo but ba leg thing maro nam ju. Chigbe. Yo yene ko leg take those logata. Okay, so clearly opposites. All right. So Sonam started looking for a new job even though he was employed. All right. So although even though the although and it dependent sentence ki dependent sentence okay. Though I didn't understand a word, I enjoyed the movie. Again, ideas are opposite. If you don't understand, normally you would not.
What I enjoyed.
Though I didn't understand the word, I enjoyed the movie. All right. So the although, even though, when do you use them? You want to use them when you want to talk about an unexpected result. All right. Something the results are opposite. So this is the use of although, even though, though. Okay. All right. Can you make a sentence? Sentence sheet. Although even though though the chungne di chesons, the chene di chesons, the jorba wonder, the chene di chemason theatre, begin on ya.
Okay, I will try.
Yes.
Even though I help him, but he
Don't need to put but
even though I helped him, he rejected
what?
me.
He rejected me. All right, good. All right. Even though I helped him, he rejected me. On ticket. Yes. Yes. Anybody else with another sentence? Di chene di chunsun se jorvadi yang se pejutangur sentence ti rite. Okay. Inji lotomna dige jane thanda yawushe masun se yorvadi the changmaro asusu gi nyiri mezinar shuta yordi kar ko. Although I studied English for 2 years, all right, I still haven't learned it. I'm doing a jang to shema sun sigar. Okay, anybody with a sentence? No? Okay, so now we want, let's move on.
Even though I told,
yes, please go ahead, carry on.
even though I said him true situation, but he don't believe me.
He didn't believe me. That's very good. Even though I told him the true situation, he didn't believe me. The but kept you amarta. Can't say anything. The compound
Didn't believe me.
And the though not the give the any conjunction conjunction subordinating conjunctions. All right. So no need to put but there. So don't put but there. Sentence no but because you already have a conjunction. Conjunction and that conjunction is a subordinating conjunction, so no need for but. Good sentence, yes. Okay. All right, now let's look at the second one. Because, since, as, yedi gyumzen shengedre. Gyudan jewu shedu kon pejatan because, since, as. Tonda chikwa nusum because, since, as yed kar pejatan integre. Okay, so since you need some help, I'll come over this afternoon. Can I robo go yeta and yingu yungi is kiranzal? Can I robo go yeta and yingu kiranzal yungi is? Gumzen is share delia. Can I robo go since the because the s sunja tanda chikre. Okay, so I can say because you need some help, I'll come over this afternoon. As you need some help, I'll come over. Kari gyamne digre sumjalo. All right, gumzen share. Okay. Pema decided to take the day off because he had worked very hard. Pema gitari consent ne chesus kimzen karisine ko pakaleta daga shu cherwa. Daga ma tari ko consent ne chesus lapte. All right, so I can put it in the beginning, or I can put they are the clause rita because he had worked so hard. This hasn't doing it. All right, the dependent clause, you can begin the sentence with a dependent clause, or you can put this begin it with an independent clause. Doesn't matter, right? But when you begin it with a dependent clause, make sure that you put a comma after the dependent clause. But when you begin with an independent clause, no need for commas. Okay? All right, now here. Our monastery introduced modern languages as it is very important in today's world. Kenswa, anju tazanki modern language gotsu sons kari insena kyumzen lewarwa and things sang it zunar ko catch mishu cha de yetas. All right, kyumzen the word that chitwa kyumzen dingen gotsu ne tigita. Okay, as it is very important in today's world, a monastery introduced modern languages. A monastery introduced modern languages as it is very important in today's world. Dependent clause ki kotsune tigre, dependent clause ti clause nibal kemne tigre, keva yomare. Ta keva kari asiri kotsune koma kya uchire clause yevacher. Okay. So because, since, as, they all mean the same thing. Can you make a sentence with one of these? As kisone digire, since kisone tonda chikure.
Since 2002, I have.
No. That since is different. That since is different since. I want the since to use to give a reason there.
Yes.
Since 2002, so the 2002 that's a different since. Okay, that's a preposition. That's not a coordinating conjunction. It does not make the clause dependent. All right. This since the because the chikpare.
Okay. Since you told me help.
Since you told me what?
Since you told me come here.
Yes.
I'm on a way.
I'm on my way. Yes. Since you told me to come here, I am on my way. Very good. Oh, since 2000, all right. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So be very careful. Since can have different meanings.
That's it.
Since it is raining, all right. Since it is raining, I'm going to take my umbrella. This one. Okay. As they all mean the same thing. Since, because, as. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Yes. Anybody has a sentence? You can use as, you can use since, you can use because. Just one of these. Just giving a reason.
Because I hadn't lied him, he hated me.
Because I lied to him. Because I
lied to him.
Because I lied to him, he hated me. Very good. Because I lied to him, he hated me.
Lied to him, he hated me.
All right. Now, here's another one. Now, this is expressing time. When, as soon as, before, after, while. It's expressing a time. Okay. Before the time the exams begin, we must finish the course. That the times before the exams begin, we must finish the course. All right. Okay. So clearly it's showing a time. I used to play a lot of tennis when I was young. Then nga chungjung yindu kon nga tennis shoot serious lo dian tuzu straight one chungju yindu dirwa. All right. I used to play a lot of tennis when I was young. We had a wonderful dinner after my best friend arrived. Nge best friend all right. We had a wonderful dinner after my best friend arrived. So I'm using after the tuzuj luwa. Best friend levechelia also konda shela yakuch sevins luwa. Okay. All right. So those were examples of time, expressing time to zuke share. When as soon as you know what as soon as it as soon as the rain began, all right, the match stopped. All right. As soon as the rain started, the football match stopped or ended. Okay. As soon as the rain started, as soon as any football match, as soon as the match began or the rain started, the match stopped. Okay, as soon as the teacher arrived, students stood up. As soon as the teacher arrived to the classroom, the students stood up. As soon as
Is it same pattern or if as soon as possible? That is the same pattern or different?
Before the
possible.
time the exam begin.
As soon as possible, as soon as you put it. If you put as soon as possible, then that will become a phrase on its own. The as soon as possible, so the phrase the clause as soon as possible. So it's an adjective phrase there. Okay. So here, this is a coordinate conjunction. It has to become a dependent clause. Dependent clause phrase as soon as possible, so the phrase there. Okay, so clause okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it has to be as soon as I started studying, as soon as I started reading. Can you see as soon as and the subject the verb as soon as I started, as soon as the subject the verb it becomes a clause. As soon as possible, subject verb so it's not a clause, it's a phrase. Okay.
Yes.
That's a little slightly different. All right. Now they're expressing condition. If, unless, yina, yungna, it expresses a condition. All right. Conditions in Karsu, Chagen Changu. All right. Okay. So if I were the president, I would take care of the needs of the poor. I would take care of the needs of the poor. If President so you see it's a condition. Okay, so okay, now they won't come for dinner unless you invite them. Can I get Can I get to invite Chinamato? Okay, so they won't come for dinner unless you invite them. Unless they again unless can I? Okay. Okay. Again, another one. In case it rains, I will take my umbrella. Kesi chawatam berjina kesi siedre. Kesi chawatam berjina any not do the killing is kesi chawatam berjina siedre. All right. So all these are expressing conditions. Chagen shevi are injinalia conditionals little Zulia.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I'm going to move forward. All right. Now there's another one. This is called a relative clause. Which, the, who, the, that. Okay. I would like to read the book which was written by George Orwell, which the Teptil Kuwata. All right. George Orwell ki tibe tep dis la ti is begin on say George Orwell ki tep tibe tep ding alonde to uslar. I would like to read the book which That is a relative clause. All right, that makes the clause a relative clause. Tenzin was the boy who stood first in the board exams. And Tenzin, Karsa, board exam nali angi thangulenge di puti Tenzin re se jorwa. Puti sedre. The boy who said the puti Tenzin re. All right, so you use which, who, the zupejutangres. I read the book that I borrowed from you. Can all right, so these are also subordinating conjunctions. They make the clause a relative clause. All right, they refer to the object there, which the book lekugor. Niba telia who the put lekugor. Sumba telia that the book lekugor. Object telekugua. Object telia. So it is a relative clause. So this is just an explanation about how to use all these subordinating conjunctions and how you get a complex sentence. So that tends to practice. So you have to write sentences. Sentence pe manguture. Nami tama de chayo de dina shile de le pep shu ja gu gar den zulia di ma to shingi mare mix take to de inji so suke marba shu sentence gu gar sentence ka zu ma sone de sigi jar to so shu rang shingi to ye chag to. So you can't just learn a sentence by listening to it. You have to practice a lot. Practice. Okay, so so this is a complex sentence. So this is a different kind of a sentence.
Yes,
all right, now we have a little bit of an exercise over here.
Yeah.
For example, he is lazy. He gets good marks in the exams. But then you combine lazy race. Complex sentence. Coordinating conjunction chiluda tinalia. The opposite.
Although he is lazy,
Yes.
he get good mark in the exam.
Oh, although Ranja Wachigre, because Kunini opposite. Lazy in ko yixel. Okay, so although he is lazy, he gets good marks in the exams. All right, so when you're writing it, make sure you put a comma there. When you're saying it, make sure you pause. Although he is lazy, all right, although
he is lazy,
he gets good marks in the exam.
He got good mark in exam even though he's lazy.
All those Trinity. He gets good marks in the exams even though he is lazy. All right. Okay, now here's another one. The guests arrived. They had dinner. Coordinating marka. Subordinating conjunction after, before, since, though, since.
When they had dinner, the guest arrived.
When they had dinner, the guests arrived. Those teenage subordinating conjunction when gemna karsi gorsin kunzu kala sevata kunzu kala sadu ko ne guest left sunuslar di tonda chikre.
While guests arrived.
Yes.
While guests arrived, they had dinner.
Oh, di tonda kar ko. While the guests arrived, they had dinner sidu ko ne. Kar ko.
Driba job dani nga kuranzu. Joke up. Job. Kuranzu. Gonse chubika dwala ni guest job res.
While the guests arrived, guest job they do ko ne ngodu shala chub res la ta. The guest pay de yorda. Guest pay liya. Ngodu shala chub res la. When the while chaba yorda. When sudu
Kapwa.
while sudu job just shooting. Yes, shooting.
Guest are raped.
Shooting a kugorta.
No.
Tell kugorta. Think you okay. All right, but dinner when the guests arrived, they had dinner. Guess jorbata and kondushala chibris. They had dinner when the guests arrived. While Bejatane Digore, after Bejatane Digore, before Bejatane Digore, they had dinner before the guests arrived. They had dinner after
The guest arrived.
Okay. All right. All right. Now here's the third one.
He worked hard. He became successful in life.
In life, yes.
Because he worked hard, he became successful in life.
That's correct. Because he worked hard, he became successful in life. All right. You can use since. You can use as.
As he worked hard.
As he worked hard, he became successful. Since he worked hard, he became successful.
He became successful successful in life as he worked hard.
Yes, he became successful in life as he worked hard. Okay, all right, okay. Yeah, because he worked hard, he became successful. He became successful because he worked hard. Okay, that is how it is. Now you have some more. Do we have time? More exercises.
Somebody write here something. Can you erase?
I don't know who did that, because mine is a laptop. I can't scribble on my laptop.
Yes.
Somebody is doing something on their iPhones or their iPads. Can you just knock that off? Robert, you pass up the suine.
근데
Robert ki la ne roa ni Robert su dwa yer te Robert ne da su chi de ta.
Oh.
Okay.
So you some are going to have my going to sure English, okay. They may give show the Mingji Tungudu da dele suji. Surdi.
Demi chiro de pen koronga ne roa suju de la tata de la clear ledge de ta clear dustbin symbol chi.
Ngodo ja ku te ngare medu. Jang ja ku te ngare medu.
Just say which tells the surdi.
Okay.
Bindue, yung bindue.
Hai re medu de.
Asu ina de jangu chi ji jati kandele.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I got it. The script is very small, but I think you can just expand it.
Yeah, we can.
You have to use combine these independent and dependent clauses using subordinating conjunctions such as after, all, although, because, before, even though, however, therefore, and or the combine chase. See if you can combine them.
To go. They ended up not being able to. They made plans to go. They ended up not being able
to. Even though they made plans to go, they end up not being able to make it.
Yes. Konzu chashi timbere chine shogo chashi chuma su sigar. Right? Chashi chuma su sigar. Okay.
Some say that dogs are reindeer. Cat can also be extremely
Some say that dogs are friendlier than cats. Cats are also extremely loving. The dear Redwa.
Yes.
Friendly
Some say that dogs are friendlier than cats. However,
however, cats can also be extremely loving. However, however, this cats
Cats can also be extremely loving, even though some say that dogs are friendlier than cats.
even though I can't rest. I need
to rest. I need to finish my time machine. I can't rest
Because
yes
because I need to finish my
time machine.
time machine.
Oh, time machine all right. So I can't finish or I can't rest because I need to finish my time machine. Or okay. So
Dr. Johnson ate a big meal. He went to work
afterwards.
Dr. John ate a big meal.
after Dr. Jones ate a big meal, he went to work afterwards.
Okay.
When
When afterwards, afterward means after the meal. He went to work afterward. Word afterward itself means that it happens after he eats a big meal.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then I refuse
to talk about it. I was put
because since
I was put in jail.
I refused.
Since I refused to talk about it, I was put in jail.
Since I refused to talk about it, I was put in jail.
Yes.
Yeah, that also makes sense. Yes. Okay. Then
we have been close friends.
Don't give me a hard time. We've been close friends for so long. Don't give me a hard time.
Don't give me a hard time. We have been close
friends for so long. Okay.
Don't give me a hard time because we have been close for a long time.
Friends for so long. Yes.
We don't believe that.
After all, or don't give me a hard time. After all, we've been close friends for so long. After all, after all.
Don't give me a hard time.
We have been close friends so long.
Friends for long. For so yet.
Okay.
Yes.
We don't believe the way you do. Culture is very different from yours. We don't believe the way you do, because all culture is very different from yours.
Because okay. All right. So Hannah is attending Brown.
Hannah is
It was her first choice.
University. It was her first choice. Hannah is attending Brown
You can use which over here. Which Pejutan do you today?
Hannah is attending Brown University.
Hannah is attending Bonn University.
Which was her first choice?
Her
Her first choice.
Which was her first
choice? University, Brown University, they'll draw a reshas. Hannah choice Thangu Yimbeki University, Brown University, they'll draw a reshas. So you can use which over here.
Yeah.
First choice.
Brothers.
The two brothers weren't always this close. When their mother died, they became closer.
Since two brother won't always be close. Then do something.
Which one is, sounds like a but there?
Yeah. Even though.
However, yeah, the two brothers weren't always this close. However, when their mother died, they became closer. However, there. All right.
However, when their mother died, they became closer.
I simply cannot get out of bed. I am too tired.
I simply cannot get out of bed as I'm tired.
Yes, as I'm too tired. Right? Or since I'm too tired, or because I'm too tired. Right? So, you'll see that some of these with some of these sentences you can join in different ways. All right. All right. So here are some examples there. They made plans. These are the answers. They made plans to go. They ended up not being able to make it. They made plans to go. However, they ended up not being able to make it. All right. Some say that dogs are friendlier than cats, even though cats can also be extremely. I can't rest. I need to finish my time machine. I can't rest until I finish my time machine. Until okay. Dr. Johnson ate a big breakfast meal. He went to work afterwards. Dr. Johnson ate a big meal before he went to work. All right. You can put a before there. No need for afterwards. I refused to talk about it. I was put in jail. I refused to talk about it. Therefore, I was put in jail. Therefore, don't give me a hard time. All right. We've been close friends for so long. Don't give me a hard time. After all, we've been close friends for so long. We don't believe the way you do. Our culture is very different from yours. We don't believe the way you do, although our culture is very similar to yours. The culture is similar to you. I think there's a mistake down there. All right. Different, similar. Hannah is attending Brown University. It was her first choice. Hannah is Brown University, which was her first choice. The two brothers weren't all there, however, okay, so I think we will stop here. This is the use of complex sentences. Okay, reach your one. Now, I think I gave you a PDF file in which there are actually many exercises. You have to practice writing these sentences. Sentence practice much in share your mare. Okay, so we'll stop here for today, and then tomorrow we'll continue. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So we'll see you tomorrow.
See you.